Before we get into all of this, I want to take a personal moment to share with you something that happened yesterday. Yesterday was April 1st, so this is not April Fool's. This actually did take place yesterday. The last of the actual history people, the people of history involving A Course in Miracles, died yesterday, and that was Bob Skutch. Bob Skutch was Judy Skutch's, there's Judy and Bob. Bob was Judy's second husband. He was the husband that she married in New York, who helped her to really start the Foundation for Inner Peace. He was the one that really was involved in healing and listening within to the voice for God. Her third husband, Bill Whitson there, who's standing next to Judy, and Judy's in the front and kind of Whit's on, well, as I look at it, he's on the right and Bob's on the left. They called themselves the three-legged stool, the three legs of the stool, I guess it was, because with any one of them being gone, the foundation wouldn't survive. They needed all three of them to make the stool set. So many people don't know much about Bob. Bob would be like Darren here at Miracle Distribution Center. He's the one behind the scene that absolutely does everything. Oh, by the way, I forgot to welcome all you guys. I've got to do that in just a minute. But he would be the one behind the scenes that would do everything, would keep the business side of it going while Whit was doing the translations and Judy was doing just about everything to help people understand and know more about A Course in Miracles. And then we had the privilege of spending some time. Let's go ahead to the next slide there. We had the privilege of Darren and I, actually, this was before Paul came along. This was back in 1985. So what, 40 years ago? 40 years ago. Darren's in the back with no gray hair. So if you look, and I have never had gray hair, but that's by design. So in the front row, you have me on the right and Bill Whitson, and then hugging Bill Whitson is Judy Skutch. And then behind Judy Skutch, you have Ken Wapnick. And you have Darren standing there with the starkingly beautiful dark hair. And we have Bill Thetford, who was the co-scribe of A Course in Miracles, along with Helen Chuckman. Now, Helen Chuckman had died in 1981. Bill was still alive in 85, died in 1988. And to the right, you have Bob Skutch there. And Bob Skutch died, as I said, April 1st, 2025, 3 months shy of his 100th birthday. So it was an incredible experience, kind of a shock, not an unexpected shock, but sort of a shock. And why he lived so long, let's go to the next slide, because he played tennis. I remember always seeing Bob. Rarely did I see Bob with long pants, and he wasn't a child, but he always had shorts on. There's a picture of Bob. Now, by this time, Paul had come on the scene, so this probably maybe 6 years later or something, I might have been, or something like that. Anyway, and Paul also has a dark hair, which he no longer has. But yeah, so anyway, there you've got Bob. I think Bob was always on the move. He reminds me a lot of Darren as well. Always on the move, always very, very thin but fit. And I talked to Tam Morgan, who is Judy's daughter. Now, Judy died in 2021. Whit died in 2018. Ken back there died in 2013. So this was the last of the original people, the original Helen Chuckman, Bill Thetford, the two scribes of A Course in Miracles. Judith Skutch came along, brought her husband Bob. And Ken Wapnick was there a little bit after Bill and Helen experienced the course. So there you've got the five people that were the mainstays of A Course in Miracles, and Bob right here lived until just yesterday. But he's still living, just a little different way. He was, like I said, always behind the scenes, but his presence, now I'm going to start crying. His presence was important and valued and necessary every step of the way. And I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because that's a great life. That's a life well lived, that we can do something to help humanity.